Hello fight fans, welcome back to MMA Punchline, only on CIB24.com. I'm your host, the punching bag, Paul Ebinger. Each and every week I will bring you all the news you can handle surrounding the sport of MMA, and then as an added bonus, I will bring you some of the nastiest KOs alongside some of the slickest submissions in the sport. Let's talk about the Ultimate Fighters Nation on April 16th. You've got Bisping versus Kennedy in a 5-round war. This fight makes me giddy, folks. These two have not been shy leading up to the fight, and so far it's been a battle of words. But that's a Bisping fight for you. That's one of his ways of getting inside the opponent's head. Unfortunately for the count, he has ran into a machine, and this machine can put him out for the count, no pun intended. I always have a hard time going against a man who has fought behind enemy lines and fought for the freedom of a country. Either way you look at it, folks, someone will be going to sleep, so it will be a very entertaining fight to watch. Now to the co-main event. A pair of former Ultimate Fighter contestants turned Ultimate Fighter coaches are set for a welterweight collision with their home countries honored on the line. Representing Team Canada is Patrick the Predator Cote, who earned a unanimous decision with a 170-pound debut at UFC 158. And representing Team Australia is Kyle Noke, who scored a 45-second TKO in his welterweight debut at UFC 152. After an engaging Tough Nations season, the power of Cote will take on the speed of Noke. Switching gears a bit, let's talk about the ladies of MMA. More specifically, Gina Carano. Gina was the lady that paved the way for women of MMA, but she has since disappeared for almost 5 years, making a very nice income on the big screen in Hollywood in the meantime. So let me ask you, if the last fight in MMA was a massacre against Cyborg and it sent you packing to Tinseltown, what makes you think you could just step back into the mix of things? After a 5-year hiatus, and now 10 or more girls like Cyborg out there that would love to have you as a sacrificial lamb. I say do some homework before you make any rash decisions. Don't get me wrong, I would love to see her back. She was what I watched growing up. But at what cost do we want to see her? Then again, I'm just a punching bag, and I know the girls are fighting today because of Gina. Ronda Rousey said in a fight between her and Carano would be a milestone for the sport. Also saying she wouldn't know women's MMA existed if it wasn't for Gina. I don't mind seeing you on the big screen, and plus it doesn't hurt as much in Tinseltown. Hey Punchline fans, let's talk Bellator fighters. They've been stuck in this battle for supremacy in one way or another, and really, all they just want to do is work. But some people in the sport just want to trap and hold what they have, because if they let it go, it could potentially put them closer to the grave. I feel that if the athlete has outgrown your company, you should be supportive to seeing that individual reach the potential that they have every right to do. And you should do it with a smile, right? No. Some of these fighters have been stuck in court trying to get free and become the fighter they're meant to become. If MMA is the fastest growing sport, then I suggest you know your role in the pecking order and back off before the door slams so tight you lose everything. Does anybody else see and feel the tension between UFC and Bellator? Let's just put on fights and live life. I say we leave our drama for high school and accept in life that there will only be one powerhouse. What powerhouse is that? That's the UFC as it stands right now. Speaking of powerhouses, let's talk longtime top 3 in the world, and I mean none other than Mr. Eddie Alvarez himself. Here's one of those guys that have been trapped and fighting for freedom. Eddie has fought the best of the best, and I feel his fight life is being wasted now. I know I'm not alone when I say release the hound so he could have the chance at the top of the sport, instead of hovering in the minors. Folks, if there's one thing the punching bag knows on a first-hand basis, it's how to take a good beating. Been pretty good at it. So now it's time for what I like to call a moment in pain. Let's take it now to the MMA world and watch some sick highlights. Vitor Belfort coming out at the youngest cat in the UFC at that day. Mark Coleman going to sleep. Say goodnight. Flex. Oh, couldn't get him down. Watch this. Head kick. Down. Look at this, folks. Submissions 101. Keep your chin tucked or you're going to sleep. Look at this, a little sleepy action here. Shale, you had that fight. 4 minutes, 4 minutes of the 5th round, you were beating this guy 5 rounds. Say goodnight, Shale. If you think about the worst pain you've ever felt, and in a common street fight and multiply that by 1,000%, then you might be on the same playing field as these men and women. Next time you're at a bar and talking smack about one of the fighters in the cage of the ring, at least remember that they had the guts to do it. What are you doing? You're drinking a beer while talking trash about somebody that's making millions. Wow, look at El Nino and Sanchez just giving it. It's like a backyard Mexican brawl right here, folks. Look at these two. Fight of the year, possibly fight of the century. These two knew what they had on. They just gave her. Back and forth, punch, 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 punch. Back and forth, 5-round war. Well, Punchline fans, for CIB24.com, it's time for the punching bag to beat it. And we will see you all next week with more MMA than you can chew and a lot more gossip and beatdowns you can handle. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Daily Motion. Keep kicking and punching, and always remember to keep your hands up.